Welcome to another edition of Breaking News brought to you by Source Selection Soundbites. Today we will discuss the Smokies Helping Hand, LLC or SHH case, decided by the General Accountability Office or GAO. In this case, the Bureau of Land Management, or BLM, had a requirement for vegetation control services over 350 acres in Cibola County, New Mexico. Pinon and juniper trees within and adjacent to the project area have encroached on grasslands and meadows, decreasing overall watershed capabilities, wildlife habitat, and forage production. The selected contractor will cut, lop, and scatter these trees to increase the effectiveness of a subsequent fire spread operation. The solicitation was published under the authorities of FAR 12 and FAR 13. The best value methodology utilized was LPTA. In addition, the RFQ provided that the agency would issue a fixed-price contract and that services would be completed within 60 days. The agency received 6 proposals. SHH was the second lowest, but the lowest quote was disqualified for past performance. SHH was also disqualified because the evaluators determined that SHH quoted a progress-based payment schedule, and as a result, they determined that the quotation did not comply with the RFQ's terms and conditions. Ultimately, the agency awarded to the third lowest vendor, who was deemed technically acceptable. Upon learning of the agency's decision, SHH protested. Principally, the firm contends that the agency unreasonably rejected its quotation because it merely suggested the progress-based payment schedule. In this regard, SHH explains that it included the progress-based payment schedule to enhance fiscal accountability and ensure that payments are tied to measurable project progress. BLM responds that SHH's quotation did not merely suggest or request the progress-based payment schedule. Rather, the firm's quotation provided for an incremental payment method with a request that the agency make payments in 50-acre increments. En route to finding against the contractor, the GAO noted that the agency's conclusion that SHH's quotation did not comply with the solicitation requirements was reasonable. The GAO noted that the solicitation included FAR Clause 52.212-4, Contract Terms and Conditions for Commercial Products and Services, which provides that payment shall be made for items accepted by the government that have been delivered, and has been interpreted as meaning that the agency must accept goods or services prior to making any payment under the contract. That is, the clause provides for payment after acceptance, but does not provide for prepayments or other forms of contract financing. Given these facts, the GAO agreed with the agency that any quotation must have agreed to payment upon completion of vegetation control for all 350 acres to comply with the RFQ's terms. Thus, the protest was denied. Now let's address a few of the lessons learned from this protest. They include 1. The parties must know the content of the clauses in the solicitation to avoid disqualification or inappropriate awards. 2. If providing an alternate payment plan as authorized by 52.212-1, submit 2 different quotations. And 3. The standard payment clause in Section I of 52.212-4 requires the item or service to be accepted before payment is made. In this episode of Source Selection Soundbites, we discuss the SHH case and a nuance of clauses in a commercial solicitation. This concludes today's Source Selection Soundbite. If this video was helpful, hit the like and subscribe button to ensure you don't miss any new material. If you want more details on the subject, they are available on the Source Selection Answer app. It contains lectures, quizzes, court cases, sample documents, and more material that allows practitioners to quickly obtain actionable knowledge. Thanks for watching. See you next time.